Ice cream, smooth, cold, and sweet. Never mind asking who loves ice cream. The real question is, who doesn't love ice cream?
Come and get it.
There are ice cream parlors on the sun-scorched equator and in frozen Arctic fishing villages. There's an ice cream shop on the Caribbean island of Barbados that offers ice cream flavored with flying fish. But no one loves ice cream the way Americans do. It was in America where ice cream joined the cone and where it first cloaked itself in chocolate to become every child's idea of heaven. Every food comes with a set of legends. If the stories are true, ice cream has gotten itself mixed up with some of the most famous folks in history. There's the Roman Emperor Nero, who sent slaves to the mountains to retrieve freshly fallen snow, which he mixed with fruit juice and honey. The great adventurer Marco Polo, who brought Europe its first recipe for ice cream from China. Because ice cream was popular in Europe, it was popular with American colonists, too.
Ice cream was consumed by George Washington and by Thomas Jefferson, and all of the nobility would consume ice cream. It really had to take off after the French Revolution, of which you had, again, French chefs coming to America, and one of the things that many French chefs did was open up ice cream parlors.
In those days, the creation of ice cream required lots of ice and lots of elbow grease, vigorous beating in a pewter pot, which in turn was immersed in a tub of ice and salt.
And what you got was something that was kind of slushy and had little pieces of ice in it. It was not the kind of creamy ice cream that we're used to today.
Ice cream was expensive to make. Up to the late 1700s, it was generally reserved for the rich. But the times they were a-changing. First, by the 1800s, commercial ice houses were open year-round. Second, in 1846, a burst of inspiration. A Philadelphia woman named Nancy Johnson invented the hand-powered ice cream machine. The whole troublesome process was reduced to turning a crank. Thanks to these two developments, ice cream could now be made in the humblest of households. But the boost that made ice cream the mega superstar it is today was its introduction to a magic elixir, soda water. That happened in 1874, and it happened in a soda fountain. Because soda water was originally taken as medicine, soda fountains were first located in pharmacies.
There, everybody could partake of the pleasure so wholesome and so healthful.
At the center of the soda fountain was the soda jerk. Part circus barker, part waiter, this man with the magic fingers often put on a show as he presented you with the delectable drink of your choice. The different recipes for these sodas included ingredients from caramel to eggs to sweet cream. Then in 1874, an ice cream icon was invented when Philadelphia soda jerk Robert Greene ran out of sweet cream.
He took a dollop of ice cream and basically just plopped it in there, and lo and behold, he created the soda. And people really liked it, and it really went over big time. And within a number of years, it seemed to go national.
It tasted good. Too good for some. At the time, soda was considered almost as intoxicating as alcohol. So the sale of soda was banned in many towns on Sunday. According to legend, the rich ice cream soda in particular became the target of pious clergymen who railed against drinking it on Sunday.
Enterprising operators came up with the idea, hey, well, we'll just come up with a soda without the soda. So they put ice cream in a bowl, and they put chocolate syrup on the top, and there they had a new concoction. They called it the sundae.
Add 1 spoon, and voila, no soda in sight.
So many people were ordering that it was really a successful, item. So instead of just selling it on Sunday, they sold it all during the week. But they changed the name from Sunday to Sundae, the S-U-N-D-A-E.
But what about to-go? Hamburgers and hot dogs were climbing onto buns. Why shouldn't America's favorite dessert be part of the movable feast? The moment came in 1904 at the St. Louis World's Fair, where another of America's great food accidents is said to have taken place. According to legend, the main player in this drama was a Syrian immigrant.
Ernest Hamwi, he was basically making these Persian-type pastries, you know, flat waffles, at his food stand. And next door was an ice cream seller who ran out of dishes to sell his ice cream. So Hamwi rushed to his aid, said, "Here." He rolled up a spire, you know, to make a cone, and they put the ice cream in it, and it was a real big hit.
The new cone, this edible bowl minus the spoon, was such a big hit that in just 5 years, Americans bought 30 million of them. As the cone joined the ice cream establishment, novelties began to spring up. The first breakthrough came in the spring of 1920 in Iowa, with the auspicious marriage of chocolate candy and vanilla ice cream.
Christian Nelson was a high school Latin teacher, and after school he operated a small candy and ice cream shop to supplement his income. And he noticed that the children would come in after school and would have a difficult time deciding whether they wanted to spend their nickel on ice cream or on candy.
And it dawned on Mr. Nelson that maybe this is an opportunity where we should combine them into one.
Nelson initially called his invention the ice cream bar, but changed it to Eskimo pie, hoping the new name would make his product more appealing. It did. The first 250,000 pies sold out in 24 hours. Nelson's Eskimo pie was only the tip of the ice cream novelty iceberg. In 1920, Prohibition handed ice cream a tremendous surge in business.
It's no longer a question of liquor or no liquor.
Beer factories were refitted to make ice cream. Soda fountains absorbed thousands of former barflies who needed somewhere legal to turn. Ice cream novelties like the Klondike bar, an imitator of the Eskimo pie, were a good bet in those non-alcoholic days. And Harry Burt Sr., a candy store owner, came up with one novelty that would become a classic.
He tried to replicate the Eskimo pie, but his family thought that it was too messy to hold a chocolate-covered ice cream bar. Well, he had already had for years a candy bar with a stick in it called the Good Humor Sucker. So he adapted that stick to his ice cream concoction, and just like the Eskimo pie, it was a runaway success.
Burt called his sweet treats Good Humor bars. Burt took his idea to the streets with a single truck he operated with his son. Then he trained a small squad of drivers to bring his products to neighborhoods and business districts. The salesman drivers, impeccably dressed in white uniforms, saluted male customers and tipped their caps to women. Burt took his team from Youngstown, Ohio to Chicago, where, the story goes, the mob tried to strong-arm him for protection money. Burt said no, and may have been one of the few Chicagoans to benefit from actually refusing an offer he couldn't refuse.
Well, they say that when the mob apparently threatened and then blew up the Good Humor trucks when they tried franchising their product in Chicago, that apparently made the front page news, and the fact that they didn't give in to the mob put them in good standing with the public.
Good Humor men took on mythic proportions. Stories abounded of the white-clad heroes reporting fires, rushing newborns to the hospital, supplying ice cream to flood victims, even stopping a counterfeit money ring. By the 1950s, the average American was gobbling up 20 quarts of ice cream a year. Soon soda fountains gave way to the ice cream franchises, chains that offered both consistency of quality and variety. The American sweet tooth is apparently insatiable. In the 1980s, the ice cream business seemed to fall into the hands of the so-called super premium brands. Haagen-Dazs and Ben & Jerry's fought for the bragging rights as the smoothest or creamiest or freshest. But ice cream fans showed that their hearts were still in the glory days of novelties. Since 1995, the most popular ice cream novelty in America has been the good old Klondike bar.